I'm Brad Blends. You can find me on Booksy and Squire. My hours are 9 to 7 p.m., but also 6 days a week. Sunday's my only day off, so don't hit me up that day. But check me out.
All right. what you stand on? What if you take that ride tonight, hey, what you stand on? What if you live or die tonight, hey, what you stand on? Bottom line, gotta lead by example. Hey, 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 what you stand on? What if you take that ride tonight, hey, what you stand on? What if you live or die tonight, hey, what you stand on? Bottom line, gotta lead by example. Hey, hey, you know they did wrong. Them cops ain't
What's going on, y'all? Welcome to a brand new episode, Real Conversations Podcast, with your host, Mr. Smooth. Today we got an interesting guest coming all the way from Quebec, Mr. Mario Duval. He's here to talk about his company, Chopper Cards and Print on Demand. He's gonna talk about his upbringing in Quebec, him becoming a father to an autistic son, um, him starting his company. What are his goals with the company? What is his overall things that he wants to accomplish with the brand? And what can we expect from the brand in the near future? Without further ado, coming all the way from Quebec, Mr. Mario Duval. Welcome to the stage. Let's go. Real Conversations Podcast.
Thank you very much for the invitation.
How you
And by
doing?
the way, you're the first one for all the podcasts I've been invited to that is telling directly I am from Quebec, Canada, because all the others are like, where are you from? And I'm like, well, yeah, I'm from Canada. But most of the people don't know that from Eastern Canada, we speak French more than English. So I'm glad that you noticed that.
All right. I appreciate that. Once again, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate everything that you're about to bring to the audience. And we're going to start it from the beginning, all the way from the top. So, Mr. Duval, could you let them know how it was coming up in Quebec, being raised, mother and father, and was there any siblings in the household?
Yeah, so to be quite honest, I was raised in a very poor neighborhood, from back and forth with my mother and my father. Each one got the custody for, I think, 1 to 3 was my father, 4 to 11 my mother, and the rest until I get to the adult stage, it was my father again. So it was quite rough because. To be a kid with 2 other brother, it was something. Uh, so I was living in a neighborhood where drugs, criminalities, and even police have been all around my neighborhood. So I know what it's like. The When people relate, yeah, I grew up in a poor neighborhood. I know what it's like. So yeah, that's pretty much what was my childhood and my teenage. Then after when I become an adult, I start working and then live some place other. But what I've realized is the fact that I live in this neighborhood. Later in my life, I had a rush patch, so I live in Montreal for a while, and I became homeless in Montreal. So I knew what to expect when I get there. I wasn't surprised, so it was easier for me to adapt and then get a job, get an apartment. I get out of Montreal, came back in my hometown. Now I'm living in a small town. It's called Electric, or just like you're wearing a winter hat. It's the name of the town, surprisingly. So now I'm living there for the last 5 years with my wife, and I have 2 kids right now. One is just turning 5, my son, and I've got my baby daughter who's 1 year old.
All right, okay. I appreciate everything you just said, breaking down your upbringing. But let's get into a little bit of your goals and your hobbies coming up as a youth in Quebec. What were some of your goals and what were some of your things that you always wanted to accomplish as a child that led you to the path that you are on currently today?
Honestly, for a long time when I was a kid, I wanted to be a professional wrestler. It's kind of funny, but well, I think I discovered pro wrestling when I was 7 or 8 years old, and that's always what I wanted to be. One day, when I become a teenager, way older, someone who was doing pro wrestling told me, "Yes, it could be possible, but it's a path that you don't want to be. For the 300 days out of the road, you're burning your body in like 1 year." So he told me, "You can do that, but it's not what you see on television. All the sacrifice that you're gonna make is not worth the work if you really want to do that." And I realized, okay, I need to do something else. And then later, I got my high school, but I'm trying to search myself for a while. So I couldn't get a degree in anything, but way later was I got trained to get a caregiver training, so I took care of old people, and then for I worked in the national aid care system for like a couple of years. I got burned out, so now I'm working in the place that I'm working right now for the last 2 or 3 years, even four, I don't remember correctly. But in the meantime, I started Chopscon and Print on Demand. So slowly, I'm building my business, but I didn't want to say, okay, I'm starting my business. I quit everything and I'm gonna start from here. I realized I've got a family, I got kids to feed, so I'm staying. I got the pay job, but I'm building this. And when I got enough money on a daily basis, I'm gonna quit my job. That's the plan.
All right, okay. You kind of speeded it up a little bit, but it's no
Yeah,
problem. It's no worries. We're just gonna slightly bring it back.
yeah,
Like you were speaking of, you have mouths to feed, you have a child, you have a son, and you have a daughter.
yeah, exactly.
So let's just give the people a little bit of insight on challenges you may have faced with your son. I believe you say he's autistic. So
Yeah,
would you let the people know how he was diagnosed? Like, how did you and his mother figure out that your son was autistic? A day to day dealing with your son being autistic, and what is some advice to parents that's new to dealing with children of their own that are diagnosed
that's a
with
good question.
autism?
So let's start from the beginning. So when my son Hunter was born, it was 4 pound 50 ounces. So it was a very small baby. So from the beginning, we didn't know that, of course. So when he grew up, uh, after 1 or 2, we noticed that something was odd. So he couldn't walk, he couldn't speak clearly. But my wife had a feeling. She knew something was not wrong, but that's not something. It was something that there's something I'm feeling. So she asked the doctor, and the doctor, "Oh, everything is fine." So she said, "No, I'm not convinced." So we went to our nurse that we have a follow every 6 months or a year. She talked about that, and the nurse said maybe he could be autistic. So we said, okay, fine. What do we do from there? So she gave us all the reference with the people we need to contact, and then from there we contact people. We get we made some tests, and we need to know that. Do you live in the United States?
Yes.
In Quebec, everything goes by the national healthcare system. When you go from the national healthcare system, it takes a long time before you get a official diagnostic. So it took us 2 years. We knew for a while because we got the appointment and he was getting some tests, and then the people, not the pediatricians, but the people who were around him, they knew that they could put a diagnostic official because they are not doctors. But we all knew that it was coming. When we got the official diagnostic, then all the resource come direct from us. So the time between we got the test, we got the, yeah, your son is autistic, but we can't say officially that he is because we're not doctors. And then we wait, and then when the doctor saw our kid, saw the evaluation, then she said, okay, fine, yeah, I'm gonna sign the paper. Here's what you need to do next. From there, we went to people that help him to communicate, and then they gave us resource for communication. They gave us resource to know what to do with him from circumstances. So then we knew what to do. So now he's 5, but between 2 to 3, it was hard because we couldn't communicate with him, and from the opposite, he couldn't communicate with us. So it was truly hard to know what's going on with him. But now it's getting easier.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. Any advice to parents going through what you and your wife was going through in the beginning stages? Would you have any advice for other parents?
So before you think that, maybe if you think that your kid could be autistic, if you have a feeling, go with your feeling. That's the first thing that we're going to tell you. If you have a feeling that something is odd, go get a consultation. And then even if it's nothing, you got reassured, that's fine. But if it's something, they're going to tell you what to do and how to do it. But when you got the official diagnostic, go get all the help that you need. And also, uh, sometime on the Facebook group, you ask question. Don't read all the comments, please. Sometimes I'm reading some group and I'm like, oh, no, no, no. Okay, I'm done. But as a father, there's no one who knows better my son than myself. So when you're a parent, you know your kids. You know what they need, you know what they want. And sometimes they don't need to tell you what they want, you already know. So now at 5, he's looking at me. I know he's hungry. I know that he wants to go on the bathroom. I know that he's not feeling well. So he doesn't need to tell me something, but we need to force him to tell, what do you want? So we're trying every time. When you want to say something, say it. Take the time. So communicate with your kid. Take the time with your kid, and then over time, that trust will be built, and it's gonna be easier to get that communication. Because for us, we know our kids, but now he's at school. He's telling us he's hungry. He's gonna show us that he's hungry. And we look at him, he's turning around the table. We know, you want some of the snack? Yeah, okay, fine. But when he's at school, they don't know what he wants. So that's the issue right now. That's the real problem. And that's a real challenge now that we have, because he's just started school, and now it's really hard for us. It's hard for us, it's hard for him, it's hard for all the teacher and the people around. But then when it will be able to communicate in a better way, in an easier way, it's going to be easier for everyone. So give yourself some time.
Okay. 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 I appreciate all that advice, all your knowledge and insight. I appreciate you speaking on that subject. But we're gonna move right along to the main event, the main topic. Let's break down how you came about creating chop cards.
Yeah.
What's the main purpose of chop cards, And what are the future plans for the company, the brand, etc.?
So when I started Chops Guard, it was truly a fact that it was 3 years ago, around September. We just celebrate our 3 years, but around November. But in September, my wife bought me some wrestling trading card. So the WWE Tops 2021, and I opened the card and I realized that I always get the same card of the same wrestler that I just don't like. And do you collect trading card?
Not really. When I
Not
was
really,
younger,
but you
when I
know
was
what I'm
younger,
talking about. You
yeah,
open a pack and you get 6 times the same guy on the pack. So
right.
it's not a surprise to tell you that. So I told my wife, not as a joke, I was serious. I'm gonna start my own trading card company. She looked at me, she laughed at me, and but I knew a lot of independent wrestlers at the time. I still know a lot of indie wrestlers. So I just DM all the guys, hey, I'm gonna start my own company. Do you want to be featured in a trading card set? And a lot of guys say yes. So a few months later, I got my first set of card of independent wrestler. And then from that point, I started the company. The reason is called Chops because first it was a truly a FU to tops, but also the name chop is a term in wrestling, so it was a double sort of sense of the. So that's why I call it. But then the print on demand came later because I realized that yeah, I can create my own set of card, but there's a need for custom sports card for kids, independent wrestler, athlete. So that's why I add up that print on demand because I realized that I can create my own set of trading card for about anything, but I can create also customize sports card for anyone. So that's for why I create shops card and print on demand.
Okay.
So during that time, the 3 years, I create a lot of set of trading card, two set of indie wrestling card. One was a set about Chernobyl, another about the World War. So any topics that could be created as a trading card set that I can own the IP, I'm creating it. So now I'm very careful because, example, you want to create a set of trading card about X TV show, you can. You can't. I mean, because they get the trademark likeness IP. So you need to create a trading card set that you will only yourself create the own the IP. So now I realize I can do that for many reasons. Create my own design, and then also create a custom sports card.
Okay. And what are some of the plans for chop cards in the near future? As far
So
as like
right now the focus really is still to be on the custom sports card with the little league because we know that the big company has the license for the NFL, the NHL, the MLB, but for the high school or small community college, they don't have personalized sports card, so we can reach them, tell them, hey, we call it our license deal. So instead of charging them a price, we tell them, hey, look, we can make all the design. You call all the parents or the athlete. You say, hey, we have trading card. We get all the design we can make for you, but which you're gonna charge. We charge for the school a fixed price, and the school charge another price. For example, the parents. Example, the little dig of my son. I'm telling, okay, the high school, I'm charging $1.50 per card, but the high school can charge $5 to the parents. You keep all the money, the $3.50, but you pay us $1.50 at the end when you get all the money. So no risk, easy to set up, and it's really all the parents get their card in like 1.5 months. So that's the plan for the future. And
okay.
yeah, that's really a good plan for the long term. but also create more card that will be personalized to help people. Like I told you, due to the fact that I have an autistic son, most of the way to communicate is by pictograph. So it's a small piece of paper that gonna tell you my emotion or something that I need, and instead to have a small square with something someone eating, that's all the same for a free picture. You need to print it, cut it, and laminate it. We can create our own design and then create a large set for all the needs that people want, and then tell you, this is our catalog. You tell us what you want, the number of card. We're gonna give you a price for that. You order them, and when you pay us, we're gonna send it to you. So we are building another IP design that will belong to us.
Okay, okay, that sounds real innovative. I wanted to ask you a question. What would be your advice to someone that wants to create a quote unquote customization type of card like you doing right now, probably on another level or to another niche, another audience? What would you tell them your hardest, most difficult time while creating the cards, and how would you tell them to move on and adjust or readjust their strategies?
So, if I understand correctly your question, if someone want to start a company similar like mine,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. So, if you want to start a company similar like mine, as a custom sports card or a custom card, then anyway, the first thing I'm gonna tell you is take the time to have your first test print, because it's not like, hey, I'm gonna make a design, gonna print it, and it's gonna be print as exactly as I see it on my Photoshop. And no, and I make that mistake, and it cost me a lot of money on my first print. So that's the first advice I'm gonna tell you. Make a first test print, just 18 or 36 card, a couple of design, just to see if it's a good fit, the color, the design itself, the back, the front, just to say, okay, I'm satisfied or I'm not. So then after you can readjust. The second one is what I see. I, I'm used to say now I'm still saying it, but I'm saying it as a joke or as a line. I'm not a graphic designer. So it's not something when people ask, "Oh, do you offer a graphic design service?" I said, "No, I'm not a graphic designer. I own a custom trading card company, so I have to do graphic design. I have to understand how graphic design works, but I'm not a good graphic designer. I know how to do it. So the second thing I'm gonna tell you is practice, practice, practice. Do it, do it, do it, do it, because if you don't do it on a daily basis, you're not gonna be one step ahead on your competitors. And then also do what people like. If someone like a design like an old baseball card that he used to like when he was young, do an old design baseball card like he liked when he was young. Because I made that mistake. I tried to be original or out of the box at the beginning. Oh, do you have someone who's crying, crying or screaming on the back?
Nah, that's my daughter. It's all good.
Say I. So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's one thing that I realized. So when I see graphic designer doing the same design that the most big company, I'm like, yeah, you're doing the same thing, but at the same time, I see the comments or the like, I'm realizing people like that. So people want, if they want a design like that, they're gonna see him, not me, and I totally understand that. So I'm trying to do a design that's similar what people like or what the company did, but I'm making just a little bit of twist that is not a direct copy of it.
Mm,
So that's what I'm doing right now. So by this, I'm trying to stand out and building a catalog on that.
right. All right. So once again, man, I appreciate your time. I appreciate your energy, all your wisdom, encouraging words you just gave to the viewers. Could you just end it out with you letting the people know where to find you for our social media or websites?
Yeah, but just one last thing. You tell us what we see in the future. Before I say that,
Mm,
what we see in the future, the way I see trading card in the future is exactly what I'm trying to build right now. I know I don't have the technology, the knowledge, but it will come. It's called a Project Eternity. So what we want to do is create a trading card, that example, a picture of you that people
mm,
is gonna scan with their phone, and it's gonna be AR technology. But the difference is you will talk to the people that you love, and you will answer them like you were answering them. So your legacy will stand forever. So
mm,
that means that people are gonna buy a trading card of you. They're gonna just show it in their phone. They're gonna see you on the back of the wall, and they're gonna ask you a question, or they're gonna talk to you, and you're gonna answer them like you're gonna answer an AI or a voice generator. But it's gonna be you with your voice and your knowledge.
mm.
So that's the way we see the future of trading card. So if you want to follow us, you can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, X. I'm still saying Twitter. I'm that old. So with Chops Card, you can visit our website, chopscard.square.site. We're still doing update right now, but it's gonna be ready soon. So for the moment, that's pretty much the way we can follow us. If people want to know more about what we can offer, they can reach out directly to us, and we will be glad to offer all the information.
All right, Mr. Duval, all the way from Quebec. I appreciate you, man. Till next time.
Thank you very much. I truly appreciate the invitation. I wish you a nice evening.
All right, happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Bye bye.
All right. There y'all have it, man. All the way from Quebec, Mr. Mario Duval. Make sure y'all tap in with him. Chop cards on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Um, become a member to our Patreon channel, which we will be dropping content real soon, first of the year. Become a member. You don't want to miss it for all uncut, unfiltered content. And with that being said, like, share, and subscribe to our Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Follow us on all audio platforms such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, etc. We appreciate y'all. We will be back next week. Full panel. Stay tuned. We appreciate everybody everywhere. Like, share, and subscribe. Tap in, tap in. More content coming soon. Happy holidays. We appreciate y'all. And till next time, we see y'all again. Real Conversation Podcast, realest and rawest podcast in the world. Let's go.